What is going on, guys? So I was able to unlock the Suffocating Pestilence dog tag, which is part of the Affliction specializations that came out with our Apocalypse DLC. So I'm going to show you guys how I went about doing this. Just keep in mind that as much as I like to give you guys some major insight, the majority of these mission requirements is really just to grind it out. So as much as I'd like to give you some tip here and there that would save you some time, the majority of it is going to be much of a grind. Now, hopefully I can give you guys some bit of insight to help you guys out here a little bit, but for the most part, you're just going to have to jump onto the battlefield and use this affliction and start grinding it out. Now, the nice thing is the Suffocating Pestilence dog tag isn't all too bad. A lot of the mission requirements kind of work hand in hand alongside each other, so that really does make it nice. The first mission requirement on the list is to perform 50 melee kills with the Peacock Affliction equipped. Now, the Peacock Affliction is when your gas mask stays on, and it's on throughout the whole entire part of the game. So this one was probably one of the more grindy ones on the list. As you know, as much as I like to give you some really big insight how to get the 50 melee kills, I'm really just gonna have to grind the game out. Now, normally what I like to do is throw a lot of smoke, and that will give me some cover on the battlefield to run up to some player and start to melee him, especially if you're in close range and you start to melee him. As if he's in the smoke, it's gonna be really hard for him to shoot you, and once you get that first strike with your melee weapon, you really have the upper hand on him, and by the time he realizes it, starts swinging at you, you should be able to finish him off. Now, you can get melee kills in multiple different ways, as one way of doing it is running up to an enemy player and just striking them in the back. Another way of doing it is equipping your bayonet on your weapon. I even went and picked up the wine bottle, which is a new feature on the Apocalypse DLC, where you can pick up on some of the Apocalypse maps, and it's a one-hit melee kill. It's basically like the Trench Raider weapon, and you just go up to an enemy player and you whack them, and you get an instant kill with that. So, you know, there are multiple ways of you getting these melee kills, and I was finding myself actually equipping it on my shotgun, as one of the other mission requirements is for you to get a certain amount of kills with your shotgun. And with the bayonet equipped on it, I was getting a lot of kills using the bayonet charge. Hadn't been using the bayonet charge in a while, but really found it effective on one of the games I had on Passchendaele, where I was just endlessly bayonet charging enemy players. So, you know, I really wasn't playing much any different than I usually do. I think a little bit of things I was doing differently, where instead of where I normally will like kill an enemy player if I'm kind of sneaking up behind him, just because I can easily finish him off rather than risking me meleeing him and going into the melee animation and putting myself basically on spot for anyone to shoot at me. I was getting those, you know, kills by going up to him and meleeing them. Maybe a, you know, support class who was using his mortars, instead of just shooting him, I'd run up to him, melee him really quick. But the best option I think you can do is definitely throw your smoke grenades down. That will definitely help. If you're more comfortable using a bayonet instead of meleeing someone, use a bayonet charge. And you can always pick up the wine bottles too, as the wine bottles is an instant kill, and it will give you that little bit of surprise on the battlefield, as the enemy player probably won't be expecting that if you're flanking them from behind and then whacking them with the wine bottle. Moving on to the second one, which is perform the 50 kills using shotguns with the Peacock Affliction equipped. Now, this is one I was just making a mention here a second ago, where you had to get a certain amount of kills with the shotgun. Now, this is one I had equipped, which is the Peacock Affliction, which keeps you on spot if an enemy spots you, and you remain on spot for the remainder of the game or until you're killed. And this is one I kept equipped alongside the Peacock Affliction throughout the whole entirety of unlocking the Suffocating Pestilence. This is one just for future Affliction dog tags you have to unlock. Is probably one of the more grindy ones, as you have to get like 500 spotting assists. And this is why I've made mention before on my previous dog tags that I'm kind of doing these dog tags in order here. So if you haven't a chance to check out my first dog tag, check that out in the link above, as I'm kind of going through this in order, taking into consideration all the dog tags, and, you know, indirectly kind of working down some of the more grindy mission requirements in the future dog tags. So when I come up to them, you know, I'm not coming into it at the very start of the grind, and hopefully I can knock off a good chunk of it. So had the Model 10 shotgun equipped to get these 50 kills, and you probably could get it in maybe one really good game, if not two. I can't imagine that you just have to average like 25 kills a game. So it's nice to be able to do that along with having that shotgun equipped, it is nice because you can equip the bayonet on it, and you can do some of the first mission requirement, which you're getting those 50 melee kills. So they do work hand in hand. Now moving on to the third one, we have to perform 200 kills with the Paranoia Affliction equipped. So again, you have to keep your gas mask on your face. And again, this is working hand in hand with the, other two previous mission requirements where you have to get, a melee kill or a shotgun kill. Again, those are working towards this third mission of getting those 200 kills. So, it is just a big grind that you have to do, but it's nice that at least these mission requirements do work alongside each other. You may, though, want to swap to the Assault class, as usually the weapons for that class are a little bit more friendly when you aren't able to ADS or aim down sights, as the Paranoia Affliction with the gas mask equipped won't allow you to ADS at all. So, weapons like the shotgun or the Automatico are really good weapons where you don't really have to aim down sights in order for you to get that kill. However, majority of the time I was using the SMG 0818, as that one was actually working just as well, going with no ADSing. So that was the approach I took. But I did try out the shotgun and the Automatico, and they did just as well. Now moving on to the fourth one, which out of the first four, all were working together with each other, and that was again what made the Suffocating Pestilence not all too bad of a dog tag to unlock. Out of the first four mission requirements, though, this fourth one here was the one I came up to finishing last, as you have to score 100,000 points with the Paranoia Affliction equipped. So it took me about 2.5 more games to finish the fourth one, which was the last of the first four that I was able to complete. And what I did find interesting was I questioned if the Paranoia Affliction causes you to keep your gas mask on. I was curious if the Flame Trooper, considering that it has a gas mask equipped on that elite class, if I would rack up points doing this. And I tried it out for a little bit, and it turns out that is the case. Now, wasn't able to check if I can get the 50 melee kills with the Trench Raider with the Paranoia Affliction equipped, as I was only seeing myself rack up the 100,000 points that I needed, as that was the last of the first four mission requirements with the Paranoia Affliction equipped. So I'm not sure if it will work with that or if it will work with the 200 kills with the Paranoia Affliction equipped, but I'd imagine that'd be the case. I do know that I did pick up the Tank Hunter Elite class, and with a double barrel shotgun and with the Peacock Affliction equipped, I was able to get some kills with that second mission requirement where you have to get the 50 kills with the shotgun. So it did seem like that was the case for actually all of the elite classes, as when I picked up the other two Sentry kits, I was able to rack up points with the final Paranoia Affliction requirement on the list. So not sure if that's intended from DICE, but that is an option for you there. So just keep that in mind when you are grinding out this dog tag. Now the final one I was able to unlock was any life performed 10 kills with the Reaper Affliction equipped. Now the Reaper Affliction is when you lose 1 point of health per second on the battlefield, and the only way for you to be able to heal yourself is by getting a kill, and then from there you're able to get your health restored. So this was one I was actually able to complete prior to coming to grinding out this dog tag. Again, if you haven't checked out my other videos, you want to check out this video here, as again I'm doing these in a specific order, as the previous dog tag I believe was Looming War, that had you have a lot of mission requirements with the Reaper Affliction equipped, where you have to get like 200 kills with it and like 100,000 points with it equipped. So it helped me just to kind of focus on that, and then unknowingly I was actually able to get the 10 kill streak as you're watching it right now. So I do have the Fedora of using the medic class. Every time I get a kill, I am then just healing myself instantly, focus on completely slaying. Now there is a future dog tag out there where you have to get like 500 revives with the Reaper Affliction equipped, and that's something as well that you can kind of work yourself towards too, as that's a pretty grindy mission requirement. But for the most part, I would suggest you know, focusing again on the other Reaper Affliction mission requirements, and then seeing how well you're doing when you finish those, and see if maybe you've gotten that 10 kill streak already. So you might be surprised how easy it is just by you just playing the game out. Again, one option to try to help you out a little bit is getting with teammates that are the medic class, and if you do die, they can revive you and your kill streak will still maintain. It's only when you accept your death and you go into the home menu screen to spawn back in is when that kill streak ends. So just be aware of that, and hopefully you guys will be able to get this mission requirement completed. Now the final one on the list was any life accumulate 1,000 meters of headshots. That's the one, of course, I didn't do, as you only have to complete 5 out of the 6. And this is an interesting one, as I would be curious to hear more what the scout class's viewpoint on this is about. So if you are a scout class and you have accumulated these 1,000 meters of headshots, feel free to let me know down in the comments below if you took that route. I'm not much of a scout class player, so I've not really judged the, you know, meters range, and don't really know if this is really a really difficult one or if it's, you know, pretty reasonable. But feel free to let me know down in the comments below what your guys' approach was for that last one. If it's one that you think it would be easier to grind out than the 10 kills with the Reaper Affliction, or if it is a little bit more of a grindy one and you might want to go a different route. But feel free to let me know that down in the comments below. But that's basically it for you guys there. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later.